Me have to jump so much sleep and drop me head. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh. Before I put on me clothes for school, oh.
99.9 WEFM. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hola, buenos dias, bonjour, aloha, ni hao, konnichiwa, buiti binafi.
Somebody wake up this morning trying to show off yourself. You wake up on that side of the bed. I say, let me just show off myself to everybody this morning.
No, I didn't. Vinci people, are you morning? How you do this morning? What's going on with you guys? You know, I'm hoping that as the days go by, as the week goes on, that we can get better and better. And of course, I always say, if you're not feeling so good this morning, unless you need an actual medical doctor, that's why Roleza and I are here to lift your spirits and just make you feel happy to be alive. And just can't wait to hear those two lovely voices. Not true, Roleza?
Of course.
Come on.
All right. So good morning to SVG. We see that the sun is coming out. I know that in the news we read earlier that we were under flash flood warning. But the weather report at 6 this morning said it has been discontinued, right? So might still get some rains today, but the flash flood warning has been lifted, all right? So let's hope. Yesterday was hot. I found yesterday, the sun wasn't beating down, but I think it was humid, so that made it just hot. It was hot and uncomfortable, and I couldn't wait to go home. Listen, when I tell people all I do is just handle my business and go home, there's a reason for it, right?
It really is too hot to be outside walking up and down, Roleza.
Yeah,
honestly, I agree with you.
And the thing was, I had on light colored clothing, so it wasn't a case of, like retaining heat with what I had on, but the place was hot, man. Jeez. But why am I complaining? I can't live in the cold either. I can never live in a region that has snow or cold weather or where it's always raining. So good morning to the folks in England.
I used to say, when I was young, I would prefer to live in somewhere that's cool. Because my logic is, when you're cold, you could always add things to get yourself warm. But when you're hot, it is so frustrating to have to try and get cool. I don't know. But seeing persons who live in the cold complain about it, I'm not so sure if I would make it. But that was my logic earlier.
Nah, I would be miserable. I would tell you I would be miserable. Because the thing for me too is that, like, I even noticed it when in an office space. So I find that I'm a lot more productive, or my mood is a little different when I'm able to see outside, like see natural sunlight. So you see, like here, I just looking straight out at the sea, right? But I tend to find that for spaces or offices where it's sort of closed up or natural sunlight isn't coming in, that I find that my mood was a little different. Not that I didn't do my work, folks, but my mood was a little different. So I'm like one of those persons who has to see natural sunlight. Yeah, we could have rain some days, but the greater thing for me has always been to see sun, even if I don't want to walk up and down in it. But to see sun, shining and, being able to see nature and all of that. So, yeah, I would never be able to live in England. I'm saying that much right now. Saying that much right now.
But, the people I see living in England, they usually talk about how crazy the weather is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it for them, but,
Yeah, I'm on Banya. I'm on leave. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. Or at least I could live in the region or in the tropics. I could live in the tropics. But anywhere else, don't look for me. Don't.
All right then.
Yeah.
And good morning to you. Good morning to Adolphus on the live. I see you guys there. And let me just say now all the best to you tomorrow as you leave us. All right. Pedro, I didn't forget you. Please reveal thyself. You have me in suspense. The suspense is not good for me. Why are you doing this to me, Pedro? Anyways, we're gonna get into our topic at this
All right.
time.
So somebody's telling me here, good morning, my sisters. If you live in the cold, you would adopt. I am telling you straight up front, no, I personally would not adapt,
I'm
right?
guessing that person live in the cold.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I personally am telling you, I will not adapt. I will be a miserable young lady, right? Miserable as in just cranky and annoyed all the time. I'm telling you that for a fact, all right? So good morning to you.
All right then. So, well, we know about dengue. Dengue is still very much a threat. There was a press release from the Agency for Public Information. It is entitled Dengue Still a Threat, and it reads the Public Health Department continues to increase fogging and source reduction operations throughout the country in an effort to reduce the breeding of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, the vector for dengue. According to public health officials, dengue cases continue to rise with over 600 total confirmed cases. The Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the vector for dengue, typically bites during the daytime hours when persons are active. Therefore, bites can occur at home, work, and school. The Ministry of Education has already issued an advisory allowing for light colored clothing to be worn by students outside of the regular uniform. The Ministry of Health is urging the public to cooperate, please cooperate with the vector control personnel, as well as to do their part in reducing the breeding and spread of mosquitoes. How can this be done? It can be done by removing stagnant water. That's water that is settled on your premises. Cover drums or containers where water is stored. Dispose of all unwanted articles such as tires, which can collect water and become mosquito breeding grounds. Cut down and remove all bush or undergrowth that can harbor mosquitoes. And clean drains and guttering to allow for the free flow of water. So that there was a press release from the API alerting us, or letting us know rather that dengue is still very much here. We've gone up to 600 and something confirmed cases, letting us know that we must cooperate with the personnel from the insect vector control unit. And I just want to echo those same things here. Please, people, let us cooperate with the personnel when they come around, as well as to try and eliminate the threat of these mosquitoes. Now, we saw that the CWSA, I'm going to read that one soon. The CWSA advised us to store up our water just in case, because we're still in the active hurricane season. So when you're storing your water, please cover them properly, because there's a whole hotel for mosquito there. A whole drum of water, there's a mosquito hotel.
It's a resort.
That's it, a 5-star resort at that, right? So please, with no vacancy, no vacancy for the mosquito. Please cover it, cover all your waters. Take another walk around your yard, even your bins where you may have water settled in the bottom of the bin. Check that as well, and other things, simple things around your yard. So we're continuing to educate, continuing to ask persons to, try our very best to lessen the threat of dengue.
Yeah.
Right?
I noticed yesterday as I was walking through town that several students were dressed in, I don't want to call them the dengue clothes because they were looking very smart yesterday, right? But so some of them had on jeans, some of them had on long pants, etc. So they were very smartly dressed. So I'm happy that some parents, and especially, I guess, if you know your child is prone to illnesses, etc., that they've taken the precautionary measure, right? I noticed it for both primary as well as secondary schools. So it's on one hand, we have to prevent it in terms of doing what we can from our standpoint, from a domestic, from a household, from a property part of it. And then there's also the other standpoint in terms of how you're attired to go to work. Because the thing of it is that, normally we expect mosquitoes to be zooming around in the nighttime.
Yeah.
But not this one, right? This one can attack you in the day, even when you're moving, it can attack you even when you're moving. So it's just to take the preventative measures. And of course, can use insect repellents. A friend of mine posted, She posted a picture of her insect repellent and she said, "This is a new perfume for this school term," right? So I guess she actually came down with dengue, and her son has come down with dengue as well.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
she is not taking any chances. So yeah, it's all of us working collectively
Yes.
to be able to mitigate this. And 600 cases is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Right.
Indeed.
That's the EQ workforce plus children being sick. That's a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, but
So let's
Yeah.
just try our best, because it means, therefore, that if we're having so many confirmed cases, obviously these persons would have gone to the doctor to get tested so that, you could have the actual statistics. So there is a possibility of our healthcare system becoming overwhelmed when you're having so many cases, because some persons may have underlying conditions and may need to be hospitalized. We have 600 and something confirmed cases, people. Let's try our best not
and
to get...
interestingly, that's 600 persons who got tested. What
Yeah,
about those who did not?
Exactly, who did
Because
not.
part of me actually wondered if I had come down with that, because remember, the day after I went to the beach was when I started to feel sick, when I felt, but I didn't go and get tested. So I mean, the possibility exists that the numbers could be higher.
Yeah.
For persons who opted not to go and get tested.
Just stay home and do your own home remedy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Also, the drains. Just want to remind you, that's something I think we overlook, to clear out the drains. That's another resort there for mosquitoes as well. When the water is stagnant, it's not moving. That's place for them to go and lay their eggs.
And
all right.
the other thing, as you speak about that, that takes community effort.
Yep.
Because even as I drive through Clear Valley when I'm coming to the studio on mornings, I would see some persons out and about already cleaning the drains. And,
Nice.
I never really thought about it, but it is commendable, because who you're going to wait on to clean it for you? So it does take some community efforts as well for persons to take the initiative to do their part to control it. Yes, the fogging machine would come around within the communities periodically, or their scheduled times now are increased fogging at this time. But again, it's for us to do our part. And something, as Dianna is mentioning, the cleaning of drains, that should take community effort.
Because in the end, it's affecting us directly. Some persons would say, "Oh, we want the government to come and clean it," but by the government, they listen, and them are get the mosquito bite when the mosquito breed up in the water there. It's so we have to really take that initiative. Right. So enough on dengue. We're gonna move on to an advisory from the CWSA. All right, so the Central Water and Sewage Authority wishes to remind customers that we are in the peak of the hurricane season, which is predicted to run from August to October. During this period, our water treatment plants and pipeline network may be adversely affected by mud flows and landslides caused by heavy rain, which may result in disruptions to your water supply. The CWSA is therefore advising all customers to activate their emergency water storage plans to minimize any inconvenience caused by an unscheduled water supply disruption while the CWSA's operations and maintenance team go out to work. Also, you are reminded, persons from Georgetown to Fancy who are supplied by Perseverance, Sandy Bay Oya, and Fancy Systems, you are asked to take special note. Since the eruption of the volcano in 2021, those systems that are located on the slope of the volcano continue to be affected by occasional mud flows whenever there is heavy rainfall, which would cause the water supply to be disrupted. Right, the CWS is currently working to improve the situation, and they are advising us to continue to store our water just in case something happens, and they probably don't have enough time to give us notice of the disruptions to our water supply. Now, I know a lot of times when water go and we not hear nothing saying water going go, we get a little bit upset. So here the CWS is advising us to store up the water. So when that happens, if it does happen, you wouldn't say, "Oh, water gone, no, me never self have no water store up." We have been warned, all right? So just like we prepared for burial and we had to store up our water, same thing we gotta do.
Yeah.
now.
At this point, anybody complaining about CWS taking water and they don't have water stored, y'all are nonsense, right? I haven't gone through the experience with Soufre. I think by now everybody should know that, or even the same containers that you would have had storing water at that point in time, you keep them, right? So anybody who is complaining about water happening to go and you were notified, etc. The point is that you really should have water stored up by this time, and you don't need to be reminded, right? You really and truly shouldn't have to be reminded. Yes, I'm appreciative that they issue this notice just in case, something does happen, but it's really and truly for us as adults, as thinking people, to have water stored up. You never know what is going to happen. A pipe or main line could burst within your community. You don't know when it's going to be repaired. I mean, generally they repair things quickly, but still, to tide you over for a short period of time, you're supposed to have water stored up, right?
Yep. And in our final topic
yeah, we could just touch on it very quickly because this isn't a whole lot of details.
So our final topic, I will be reading from the RSVG Police Force Facebook page. They have a press release. It says police investigate death in Level Gardens. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is currently investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a 39-year-old male, Michael Dabrio, whose body was discovered in Level Gardens on Saturday, August 31st. The district medical officer was immediately notified, and upon arrival at the scene, it was confirmed that the individual was deceased. The body was officially pronounced dead at 11:08 a.m. A post-mortem examination will be conducted to determine the cause of death as investigations continue. The police are working diligently to uncover the details surrounding this incident. Anyone with information that could assist with this investigation is urged to contact the nearest police station or any officer they feel comfortable speaking with. Contact information for police emergency 999 or 911. Police control 457-1211. And for the criminal investigations department or the major crimes unit 456-1810. The RSVG Police Force extends its condolences to the family and friends of the deceased during this difficult time. And just as an update, reading also from the same page, the other day we spoke about the body that was found on Kittle's Beach. So the police released a statement saying following a post-mortem examination conducted on August 30th, police have determined that Michael Dalloway, the 40-year-old resident of Kittle's, found deceased on Kittle's Beach, died as a result of aspiration due to or as a consequence of acute alcohol intoxication. So those are the updates from the police force there. So again, we have another death. We don't know how this person died.
You realize the ages? One is 39 and one is 40. My Lord.
Yeah.
All right. That's, just something to think about there.
As more information is released, we will let you know as it relates to this body that was found in Level Gardens. We don't know if it's a natural death or anything at all, but we're just waiting for more information and then we will pass it on as we go along. At this time, we're going to have to jump out as we prepare for traffic talk.
All right, so we are going to...
At Lynch Caribbean, yes.